The type of woman narcissistic men fear and walk away from. The type of woman a narcissistic man walks away from is not the one who loves too much, but the one who finally sees too clearly. She is the woman who stops chasing explanations and starts trusting patterns instead. At first, she may have been empathetic, patient, and willing to understand his wounds, but something shifts the moment she realizes that his pain is not an excuse for his behavior. She no longer argues to be understood because she understands enough to walk away emotionally. This woman becomes dangerous to a narcissist because she stops feeding his need for control. She no longer reacts the way he expects, and that silence begins to feel like rejection to him. Where she once over-explained, she now sets boundaries without apology or guilt. And boundaries are something a narcissistic man experiences as a personal threat. He cannot manipulate what he cannot access, and she becomes emotionally unavailable to his games. This woman doesn't try to prove her worth anymore because she knows her value is not up for debate. She stops competing for his attention and starts redirecting that energy back to herself. The moment she detaches, the dynamic begins to collapse because he loses his source of validation. A narcissistic man thrives on admiration, confusion, and emotional chaos, not clarity and self-respect. So when she becomes calm, grounded, and unshaken, she no longer fits into his narrative. She doesn't beg when he withdraws, and she doesn't panic when he goes silent. Instead, she observes, processes, and chooses herself without making a scene. This kind of emotional independence makes him feel irrelevant, and that's unbearable for his ego. He may try to regain control through charm, guilt, or even anger, but she no longer engages. Her peace becomes louder than his manipulation, and that shifts the power completely. She is not cold, she is simply no longer accessible in the way he needs her to be, and that lack of access feels like a loss of control, not just a loss of connection. Eventually, the narcissistic man walks away, not because she wasn't enough, but because she became too much to control. He leaves because he cannot dominate a woman who has already chosen herself. And what looks like his decision to walk away is actually her silent refusal to be controlled anymore. This woman doesn't lose him. She outgrows the version of herself that once tolerated him. She becomes the mirror he cannot stand to look into because it reflects his lack of power. And in that reflection, he sees someone he cannot manipulate, and that is why he walks away.